Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to episode 6. Episode 6, 6 weeks. We're almost at 2 full months.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean...
Are we going to celebrate?
Why not?
We'll have a party. Anyway, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good week. We have a lot to cover.
Oh, a lot. And I can't wait because we messed up last week.
We did, and we'll talk about that. It goes in the mistakes section.
It has to.
We
messed up.
We definitely, really, I can't express to you how bad we messed up, but we'll get to that. We also have a nice long segment of bullshit Skip Bayless says this week.
We really need to get a little audio clip.
Some kind of tune or something to let them know that we're getting ready to start. But anyway, let's start with the mistakes. We were talking about the New York Knicks, how the front office is run and their head coach, David Fizdale. I said he was with Minnesota, the Timberwolves. He got fired from the Grizzlies, not Minnesota. Real quick. I was also telling you should watch First Things First, because Chris Carter and Nick Wright, they're really good together. I forgot that Chris Carter refers to Patrick Mahomes as Patty, and I've decided that he's not that great.
Is it because he called a grown man Patty?
Yes, you can't, and not just a grown man.
People call Patty Mills Patty Mills.
It's because his name is Patty. He calls, nobody said, hey, do you want to call him Patrick Mahomes or Patty? No, he was just like, oh, Patty Mahomes, and I almost turned the episode off.
Yeah, you have to.
Patty Mahomes?
Patty Mahomes.
Chris Carter, if you ever listen to this, that's disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
It's disrespectful on so many levels.
Okay, there was a mistake last week, and I didn't address it at the time, because I didn't really put two and two together. So we were talking about the mystery Bradley Beal trade that might happen to him in Miami. Corey said Deets. You refer to it as Deets.
Get the deets?
No, you are a grown man. You cannot say Deets.
Get the deets stuff.
No, you should apologize to our listeners. Deets.
I'm gonna double down and I'm gonna keep calling it deets.
Details, you freaking grown ass.
So
he has a full
deets?
beard, looking like a caveman. You can't say Deets.
What's the deets on that?
I'm gonna
trade?
hit you.
Speaking of which, why did that die? Did we ever find out?
No.
Yeah, it's because they're gonna try to get Chris Paul, which we'll talk about in a second.
We'll talk about it. Don't worry. Anyway. Couple more things. We were talking about how the 76ers, their thing for every year was they would let their draft pick, their number one pick, sit out a year.
Yeah.
They did last year too. Zaire Smith, he was their first round pick and sat the whole season.
So who'd they take this year? That way,
I don't know.
So you're not gonna know for another year anyway. It's just a thing they do now.
Yeah, I guess. I think Zaire Smith had the same injury as Ben Simmons. I think he broke his foot. One of the other things we were talking about the WWE. I said Kofi Kingston had lost. He did not lose the WWE Championship yet. I had thought he did
yet,
because, I think he will. This tomorrow at Extreme Rules. The last thing is, so like he had mentioned, or maybe that was before we started, but we recorded early last week. Instead of recording Saturday night, we recorded Friday night.
Yeah, I was trying to give you more time to edit, and apparently that was a terrible idea. The sports world just blew up.
So we stopped recording around midnight. I went to bed. I woke up at 2:30 for 37 messages. Kawhi Leonard went to the Clippers with Paul George.
Well, apparently that was the big thing, though. Like, he wasn't going to go unless the Paul George trade.
Okay. We have a lot to talk about with Kawhi Leonard. And
we have a lot to talk about the Thunder.
In general, we have a lot to talk about the NBA. I know, we always talk about the NBA, but unfortunately it's the most...
Right now, yeah. Well, like I was telling you when I first got here today, I honestly think that within the next 10 years, maybe sooner, that the NBA might be the most popular sport in the world.
Basketball in general. I mean,
not in the world, but at least in the United States.
The thing with basketball is literally anybody can pick up and do it.
Yeah, well...
Not everybody can pick up and throw a football. Not everybody can pick up and catch a football.
Right.
Not everybody can, read holes and read defenses and stuff. So, for me...
It's more relatable?
Yeah, and especially when there's superstars like Steph Curry, anybody can pick the ball up and shoot a three. They're not going to necessarily make it, but it gives you the faith that everybody can do it. Not everybody looks like LeBron James. You know what I mean? So I think basketball is definitely more relatable. It's easier. It's
more exciting.
It depends on who you ask.
I'm talking about like not just like the game itself, but like free agency.
Oh, free agency!
When is the last time you ever got excited about NFL free agency? Or baseball free agency only because you're going to see just the grossest contracts.
I agree. I really agree with you. I think the NBA is going to overtake the NFL sooner rather than later, especially because the NFL does stupid stuff. Like what's the rule this year? Pass interference calls can be challenged or something.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Speaking of challenges, we'll just throw this real quick. They're going to do that in the NBA now.
Yeah, but they're allowing challenges. They've never done
you got one, and you have to have a timeout to do it. and it can't be within the last 2 minutes of the...
That's fine.
Is it the quarter or the game?
I really don't remember.
I'm assuming it's like NFL type, where you last 2 minutes of the half on each half, maybe?
Yeah, could be. But so more about the Clippers. So my thing that bugs the hell out of me, right, is literally the day before, okay? They're talking heads, and all the people are talking about he's probably going to go to the Lakers. The Clippers are out of it, right? And they're talking about LeBron James is stacking his team. He's got to have his team stacked in his favor, and yeah, right? But nobody's talking shit that Kawhi Leonard literally talked to Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, any free agent this year. He called and talked to them, and he called and talked to Paul George. But nobody's saying he has to have the deck stacked in his favor. Nobody's talking shit about Kawhi Leonard.
Well, he did win an NBA title with
But
Kyle
there's
Lowry.
an asterisk. He literally won an NBA title because the Warriors actually exploded.
Yeah, it's true. But there's no way that Raptors team beats a fully healthy Warriors team, right?
For 11 minutes, Kevin Durant was the best player on the floor by a long shot.
Yeah.
He was eating them alive.
Yeah.
And no, there's just no way. And I get I don't want to take anything away from him because they actually did the damn thing. But Kevin Durant didn't play.
Don't cheapen it, but at the same time, it's hard not to.
Yeah, and
with that Warriors team, the way it was set up, they were hobbled.
Like nobody. Not one people has come out and said, "Wow, I can't believe he tried to join with Kevin Durant. That's so cheap of him. Why would he try to do that?" Everybody belittles LeBron, and it's a double-edged sword because people like Rob Parker, who I'll mention in bullshit Skip Bayless says later, even though he's not Skip Bayless, but he was like,
yeah, but he's like right there though.
He's real close. He was like, LeBron always has to have his team stacked, and he's always trying to control things. That's why he's trying to get Kawhi. But on the same side of that token, if he gets Kawhi, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a double. Like, I wrote it down. What did he say? Well, like,
the thing that makes me mad is like they talk shit about LeBron, right?
Right.
And on the same side, they'll be like, oh, LeBron needs All-Stars, LeBron needs All-Stars. And then they'll turn around and they're patting Kawhi on the back saying, oh, what a savvy move.
Yeah, they're talking about he's the king in the NBA now because he got Paul George to go to the Clippers. First of all, no, the fuck he did not. He called Paul George and said...
Paul George wanted out before that.
Yes, but he called Paul George and said, hey, you want to play together? You need to go request a trade. The Oklahoma City Thunder didn't have to trade him to the Clippers. They didn't have to trade him at all. They chose to do that.
So since you brought up the trade, can we talk about this is the most anybody's ever paid for one player?
Five first round draft picks and 2 players.
I don't remember who they sent.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I don't know how to say his last name, and Danilo Gallinari.
Oh, so they did nothing then.
Alexander was a decent point guard.
Gallinari is decent.
They're both they're average. Gallinari looks like he's not Gallinari. Alexander looks like he's going to be a really decent point guard. That's part of the reason why. Anyway, we'll talk more about the Thunder. I want to focus on this real quick. He said, but the double-edged sword is this: if LeBron gets players, he's stacking his team. But if he doesn't get players, then nobody wants to play with LeBron.
Play with him.
That is so stupid. First of all, you can't have it both ways.
Right.
And second of all, Damian Lillard said this week, I don't think Michael Jordan would have gone out and recruited players, but that wasn't a thing in his era. Like, if he given the choice, if he could have had better players around him, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he would have gone out and got Magic, but I'm saying if he could have got, like, I don't know,
if he could have pitched it and it would have worked to get like Hakeem Olajuwon,
he definitely would have.
Yeah.
And he's gonna say he isn't because that's his mentality. But bullshit. If you asked him and he had to answer truthfully, he would say absolutely.
Especially if he doesn't have Scottie Pippen.
Even with Scottie Pippen,
ask him before he gets Scottie Pippen. Before Scottie Pippen, Scottie Pippen. Ask him.
And I think he's ask him if he enjoyed playing on the Dream Team.
Well, back then though, you're not allowed to ask for help. Like now, you're allowed to be like, man, give me some help. Back in the 80s and 90s,
right? Because the players didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, Jordan's weak.
So I 100%. I'm not saying he would or he wouldn't have, but if given the opportunity,
we don't know.
I think he would have.
Put a Jordan in today's game, we don't know. We don't know how he would have.
It's just really frustrating because people hate, and now yes, it's coming out because I'm a LeBron. It's like he's my guy, and I want to stick up.
No, I agree. And I'm not a LeBron guy, and it needs to be fair. You can't shit on one guy, and you can't do that.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
And it needs to be. And people need to talk shit about Kawhi. They need to come with the same energy. Why is Kawhi...
Either don't talk shit about LeBron or talk shit about Kawhi.
You have to. That's just my opinion. So do we keep... I got some UFC stuff. Do we want to just keep talking about the...
Let's just get basketball out of the way.
It's a lot to do.
Yeah,
all right.
But it's going to be the bulk of the episode.
Let's talk about the Thunder.
Let's talk about... so they got the 5 picks, which is the most that anyone's... Which is crazy, because I feel like the Thunder saw what the Lakers gave up for Anthony Davis. So like, well,
who is a better player right now?
We need to one up.
But the Lakers gave more players.
Yeah.
So
you literally have more pieces, like right now pieces.
Yeah.
So then so here's an interesting segue since we'll do this. So before the Clippers trade went through, and before Kawhi signed with the Clippers, the rumor was that the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you heard this. Maybe you did, and once I say it, you're going to know. The Oklahoma City Thunder were going to trade Westbrook and Paul George to the Raptors.
To Toronto.
For
Kawhi and...
No, it wasn't Kawhi. They were going to do...
Siakam.
Yeah, Siakam.
That's what it was.
But it's either the Raptors weren't...
They didn't want Westbrook.
Or the Thunder were like, nah, Siakam's not enough.
Which is fair because it was Siakam and more.
Siakam balled out, but that's not enough. For Westbrook and
but the Raptors weren't going to do it because they didn't want to. They didn't want to give up Siakam, and B, they didn't want Westbrook.
Like so before we get on to the real big,
that is the fact that we got done recording and then an hour and a half later Kawhi made his decision.
Yeah,
we
true.
Literally said in that episode.
So
he's probably not going to go to the Clippers.
Yeah,
and then in a couple hours,
the Lakers. Well, because everything you're hearing, everyone's saying, Clippers are out of it. Clippers are out of it.
I literally asked him if he wanted to come back the next day and add on the podcast. I thought that would have been funny.
So I got this text message, not a text message. I got a report from a Bleacher Report while I was at work, and I ran outside.
Yeah,
and called you.
Because I was typing up a message to you.
Westbrook got traded to the Rockets, which I know this isn't news for anybody listening, for Chris Paul and 2 more first-round draft picks, and they swapped picks.
So it's 2 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps?
Yeah, they swapped the 21st and the 25th first-round pick. So the Thunder are sitting here with 7 new first-round draft picks and Chris Paul.
In the next 6 drafts, they have 16 first-round picks. Is what it breaks down to, because they had picks from before.
So, and then I heard that the Thunder are gonna ship Paul out.
So they have 2 options. One is unrealistic as hell. Anyway, so the unrealistic situation is that they could buy him out, but he literally has like $100 million left on his contract.
That's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. So the other option is they trade him, which is unlikely, but Miami's calling about him.
Him and Jimmy Butler, I guess, would be an interesting pairing.
They would make the playoffs, but again,
it's in the East too, so you don't really never know.
But for the big conversation now is: are Westbrook and Harden one of the top tier duos now? Because duos is the thing; it's not big threes anymore; it's duos.
So that's one thing. Before let's just talk in general. That was one question that I want to ask you. Excuse me. Who's the best duo right now? Since let's throw them in there. I still think the Clippers.
It's Kawhi and Paul
LA,
George.
Period. It's LA. Period.
But with an asterisk, let me see how LeBron comes back after a summer off, after missing more games than he's ever missed. He's more rested in theory than he's ever been in his career. Let me see him, because we can know, in the first week if he looks, because when he came back from his injury, he never rehabbed before, so he looked kind of slower and stuff. Let me see what he looks like, and I might go.
The one thing I'm not worried about is him and Anthony Davis meshing.
They're going to be good.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. LeBron's a facilitator, so. Really, realistically, if you let LeBron do LeBron, he's gonna do the damn thing.
Which we'll talk about that more in a second about because the Lakers might actually start him at point guard, which would be broken as hell. But there's questions about that. I think it's it's Clippers and Lakers currently. Give me a healthy Clay and a healthy Steph 3. Do we say KD and Kyrie? If they're healthy, I think them number 1.
Yeah, but they're in the East too. That's one thing that I wanted to talk about briefly. I know you mentioned Kawhi hit KD up, and the rumor was that they were going to play together. But the big reason that they didn't is because KD wanted to go to the Knicks,
and Kawhi wanted to go to the Clippers.
And Kawhi was like, no.
Yeah.
And
I think I mentioned that last week.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you're right.
But it's just it brings me back to why don't people hate on Kawhi? They're like, oh, this is such a power move. But when LeBron did the same shit, he was castrated for it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Anyway.
No, it's because it's easy to hate on LeBron because he's a huge target.
Yeah.
Second greatest player of all time, and
And people, it's
got a big
a
target
love
on
hate.
that.
You hate the Yankees, or you love them.
Plus, yeah, moved to Miami. The way he did it.
No, that's the one mistake he's ever made.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying since he's done that,
Yeah.
nobody hated LeBron before that.
No, he became a supervillain.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think L.A. both teams in L.A.
are 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Clay and Steph will be there at the end of the year.
Speaking of the Raptors, I heard that now they're talking about trading Lowry. They're looking into trade. So the Raptors won a title and they're just going to blow it all up and build it around Siakam, which isn't a bad idea.
I mean, if he improves again,
well, yeah.
I think Russ and Harden could be a top 5 pair. And you don't agree. So look, here's my thing. You say the Rockets didn't get better.
So I watch a guy on YouTube called Chris Smooth, and he's a real,
check out his videos. They're pretty good.
Yeah, and he's real smart basketball talk. If you listen to him, you can tell the guy knows what he's talking about. He brought up a point about, and I agree, that the Rockets, the Thunder made out like bandits. You can never fault anybody for building for the future, because if you're going to rebuild, the way they're doing it right now is really smart.
For sure. But I think the winner of the deal is always whoever gets the better player.
Yeah, you literally went from one Super Bowl heavy guy to 2.
Okay, but here's the thing. So I agree. We agree up to a point. I don't think that they fit really well. I don't think that it was. I'm impressed that they got the deal done. First of all,
the only way this works is if Westbrook changes the way he plays the game.
But I don't think he has to change as much as you think. See, it's a bad trade in a lot of ways. For example,
go ahead.
Do you know who the worst 3-point shooter in the NBA was last year?
Westbrook.
Yeah. With over a certain amount of attempts, he shot 29% from 3. That's what they want to do the most, right?
Yeah.
The other thing he's really bad at is shooting free throws. The other thing they like to do a lot. He was 65% or 66% from the free throw line. So, my thing is that I agree in that those aspects don't make...
He doesn't fit in D'Antoni's offense.
Kind of.
No,
but the one thing they haven't had is a slasher. James Harden has to sit there and dribble, and nobody's attacking the paint, ever.
Yeah, everyone's just standing around.
Now you've got a guy who's a super explosive athlete who can cut to the basket while he's watching James Harden dribble.
I understand what you're saying. It doesn't work.
He's also 4 years younger than Chris Paul. He's more athletic. He's bigger. He plays better defense.
Chris Paul was a bad deal, too. Like, that was never going to work either.
The first year was beautiful. The first year was beautiful together.
Yeah,
they both took turns taking the ball off the court. They split time when James Harden was off the court. They gave Harden the keys to the offense, and
I know what you're trying to say.
I garbage that whole thing. Anyway, what I'm saying is it was really good the first year. I watched a lot of their games. They were really entertaining and fun to watch. They both split. What happened last year was when Chris Paul got hurt, Mike D'Antoni was like, fuck it, and just gave everything to James Harden 100% of the time, and it ruined the chemistry. So what I'm saying is, I think it's gonna be better than you think, because James Harden and Russ want to play together. They've wanted to play together since they left.
Well, because the Thunder were stupid.
I agree.
And instead of giving James Harden money, they gave it to Serge Ibaka.
So when they shipped James Harden away, the difference of opinion, so there was a money issue. They didn't want to go into luxury tax, whatever. They didn't want to pay James Harden $4 million.
It was 4, I thought it was $6 million.
$4 million, and not $4 million a year. $4 million total. That was it. Anyway, I don't know if you can hear. If you can hear that, that's going to be fantastic. But his stomach's growling. Anyway, so
it's ridiculous.
Back to, I think the Russ and Harden pairing is going to be better than you think. It's not going to win them a title.
You can't win a title with Russell Westbrook on your team.
I agree, but I'm saying it's...
And I love Russ.
It is an upgrade over Chris Paul.
Yeah,
you can't say it's not...
But anybody's an upgrade over Chris Paul nowadays.
But literally, it's the same position, but on steroids.
It is, and I get what you're saying, but it just... I don't like the move at all. I think Houston...
It's better than having his contract.
Houston, yeah. Well, no, because...
Russ is making less money still and he's younger and a better player.
But I don't like the move.
We'll find out.
Literally, so go back to Chris Smoove. What Chris Smoove said...
I apologize.
You're fine. It's what we do. He was comparing the deal to as if Shaq in his prime, you brought in another center, another under the block guy that plays the same exact way.
And I
understand what you're saying. The only thing is, I would approach Russ and I would be like, you're not allowed to take more than 2 3-pointers a game.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen in Mike D'Antoni's system.
I know, but that's the only way Russ is most efficient.
What about this? What if Russ plays like a small forward position instead of shooting guard or point guard? What if it brings the ball up occasionally?
How tall is he?
6'3". So he would be really short, but he's
so
athletic. Explosive.
Yeah, he's athletic.
You just have him cut back door.
So what I think is, you move James Harden back to point guard.
Shooting guard.
Remember, no, point guard.
He plays point guard.
No, he played shooting guard last year. Then you let him run the point like he did when Chris Paul was off the court. Because the year before they got Chris Paul, he was balling at point guard.
But then, the reason they got, and okay, that's another thing. You said facilitating. They both have led the NBA in assists the last 3 years. One of them led each year, which sounds cool. Except for literally, they don't pass to make their teammates better. They pass because no, not even that. Oh no, the shot clock ran out. Better give the ball to somebody. They don't make the extra pass.
Right,
they dribble the ball until it's time to pass.
See,
that's not the same.
It's another reason why I don't think that's going to work.
But I think that Russell Westbrook has if you have to say they have to change their games, I think James Harden has the ability to adapt more. He's rigid, but only because he's given
the only
reins.
reason I'm nervous is because there's two alpha dogs in the same
that
room.
want to work together though. It's not like Chris Paul who's an asshole.
It was like forced. Yeah. See, I don't think I've never been a fan of Chris Paul. I've never liked Chris Paul.
Oh, I think he's a great player.
No, I don't. He's arrogant for no reason. You can't be arrogant and never make it out of the second round of the playoffs.
But that one time he made it to the.
And who was responsible for that?
Blake Griffin. Anyway, listen. So
thank you. You've made it out. No, I don't like Chris Paul. I think he's overrated. They say he's the best point guard of all time, as if they
one of the best pure point guards of all time.
Sure, but I would if I'm building a team, which I have, and I know I don't have. Well, did you put Chris Paul on your team?
No.
Okay then.
He can't shoot like that. That's not the point.
Anyway. I don't like him, and I'm glad that his career is falling apart.
That is rude as fuck. He's still going to make $44 million.
He is an asshole for no reason.
See, I said $44 million a year, and you're like, oh, that's not that much. That's a year.
A year, yeah. That's not
total.
Over the life of the rest of the contract, yeah.
No, that's a year he's going to make that. Anyway, I
kind of like the idea of him playing in Phoenix, though, just to give poor Devin Booker some type of help.
No, because I think he would ruin Devin Booker. Devin Booker needs to just be able to let it shoot whenever he wants.
Devin, go out there and just do what you got.
Hey, can we listen? I don't know if y'all have looked. I'm sure you haven't. If you know who DeAndre Ayton is, do me a favor and Google DeAndre Ayton, dog. That man looks like he is 45,000 years old.
And he was a rookie last year.
He
reminds me of that. Have you ever seen Benchwarmers?
Yeah.
When the Mexican dude hands him his IM-12? Yeah. That's what happened when he went to school.
Literally, DeAndre Ayton looks like he was born 85. Like, I can't believe how old he looks. Anyway, how about some lesser NBA news? So it's Summer League going on. One sad thing. Zion bumped knees with a teammate and is out. I think they're sitting him out because that dude is way out of shape.
He's $3 bills, right?
Somebody said he's easily 315 pounds right now.
It's 6'6".
That means he put on 30 pounds since he got done at Duke.
So, again, I know I say this like every week, but me and Mo were talking about this at work, and...
We gotta get Mo on here sometime.
Yeah, if Woody, his booming voice...
I don't know if he would.
I
think he would think we're stupid for
probably.
doing it. But.
So, that and 3 people, that's a lot of talking. You'd have to strap in, folks. If he could drop 40 to 50 pounds and play at 260, he could be a small forward.
I agree.
But because he's so heavy right now, he's too slow. He's fast for as big as he is. But imagine him 50 pounds lighter.
Right. But see, so somebody was talking about...
He'd be LeBron-esque as far as like
athleticism,
power and size.
At that position for sure. Somebody was talking about, I think it was during Mike Greenberg's show, Get Up. Check it out. They want to get up in the morning. Anyway, they were talking about Zion, him being overweight and stuff, and somebody said that, they were like, I'm not that worried about it, because when you looked at him in high school, he looked like a chunky kind of, he didn't look super great. And then after 2 weeks playing at Duke, he was a chiseled monster. So let's give him some time to play. NBA bot, NBA.
NBA though.
What am I trying to say? NBA
physiques.
Nah, the trainers and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know why
professionals.
I don't know why I couldn't get
so
that.
So my biggest thing about him is you can't allow yourself to get out of shape like that. Imagine what happens if Shaq doesn't do that at the end of his career. If he takes better care of himself instead of worse.
Carmelo.
Exactly.
Not a gym rat. Okay, but I'll counter with this. Up until the draft, when you're not working out for teams anymore, to Summer League, a lot of guys take time off. They chill for a minute because they've been doing everything.
Yeah. Basketball is a year-round thing. It's not like a...
So, I won't fault him too much, but the dude needs to stay away from the gumbo.
Doug.
Okay?
And the grits and all of the great food that's going on in New Orleans. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But you get around and you can afford to eat whatever you want. It would be very hard to
people
not.
Trying to give you free stuff all the time. I bet it's hard. The other thing I want to talk about Summer League real quick. RJ Barrett
is garbage right now.
So he has gone. The stats have changed since I saw it. I think when I took these notes, he was 6 for 28 from the field.
Yeah, I saw that.
And 2 for 12 from 3.
You know what I think there's a lot of pressure on him right now.
You're
in the Big Apple.
So, but here's my thing.
You've got 18 power forwards on your team.
Real bad. It looks real gross.
I thought you said that the guy that's running the Knicks knew what he's doing. Because he doesn't.
He does.
Why is he signing every power forward? The only thing that I've heard that I guess quote unquote makes sense is they're going to make a move at the trade deadline. Nobody needs 8 other power forwards on their team.
Look, let's just talk about RJ. We won't talk about the Knicks. We don't have that kind of time.
We really don't.
With RJ, I think... So we were all worried about Trae Young last year, too, because he was shooting like this, too. And look what he did. He was second rookie of the year.
Especially because the NBA three-point line is deeper.
It's going to take him some time to find his range.
Plus, you got to tweak your jump shot because now you got to shoot a little bit faster.
Right.
Because everybody in the NBA is faster.
It's just really ugly looking.
Yeah, and again, it's like NFL rookies when they go in the NFL. They say that the level of the speed is so hard to get used to. I think that's probably a similar situation to the NBA because you're in college. You're playing against people who that's it.
Right.
They make it to college and that's it. And then now you're against these top tier guys that have been, and some of them have been doing it for 10 years plus. Mm-hmm. And they're freak athletes.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. LeBron James is halfway through his 30s and he's playing better than some guys in their early 20s.
So yeah.
And that's
I don't need to get off on that tangent. Anyway,
that's just his physique.
So we'll get back. Let's see. Do I got more? I do. You know what? I got more. Let's just keep going. Anyway, so the basketball.
I feel bad for anybody that's trying to listen to this that doesn't like basketball.
They're like, God, stop.
We started this at a rough time.
Yeah.
Because I know you're not into baseball, so I kind of hush about baseball.
You can talk about baseball, though. I'll talk about it. I don't know.
And then the NFL season, I guarantee once the NFL starts, it's going to pick up.
I can't wait for the NFL season.
So anyway. I think what we should do, by the way, since we have different favorite teams, we'll make predictions about how we think our teams are going to do.
Mine's going to be better than yours.
Oh, for sure. Hands down.
Anyway, so here's an interesting
For the nosebleeds, the Chicago Bears are charging $500 a ticket. I could probably get 8 tickets for the San Francisco 49ers.
The price of being good, I guess. That makes me really sad. Anyway, so...
Nosebleeds.
Here's one for you. KD, did you know that...
Is wearing number 7?
Well, that, but
Where did that come from? Do you know where that come from? It came from?
Lucky number? I don't care. Because they
At least LeBron's makes sense, right?
Folks, did we talk about they retired his number? Sorry about that. The Golden State Warriors retired Kevin Durant's number.
I get it.
Or at least
without him, they don't win the 2 titles he wins.
I agree, but at least the general manager who's there said, "As long as I'm here, another player will not wear number 35."
I get it. It's just like I think the Raptors need to retire Kawhi Leonard's number. Without him, you don't win a title.
I know he's gonna get a statue and shit.
Think about it. He played 1 year, and they're gonna retire his number.
He played 1 year and did more than Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Chris Bosh.
Yeah,
a lot of Chris's. Anyway,
DeMar DeRozan.
But wow, rude as fuck. Anyway,
fuck him.
God, Kevin Durant did not meet with the Nets. The Nets found out where Kevin Durant was going to play the same way we did on Instagram.
By the way, thank you for mentioning that. So that whole sign and trade thing. Can we talk about how crafty the GM was for the Warriors?
Okay, did you know that Kevin Durant was like
forced them to trade because they did? He refused to go straight up for D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah. So wait.
So he was like,
Kevin
no.
Durant,
He's like, no. You gotta throw in a first round pick.
At least No. Kevin Durant said that, not the GMs.
No, Kevin Durant was like, you're not trading me straight up for D'Angelo Russell. You're not doing it.
Also,
you want to know why? The theory is that because he wanted to leave the Warriors high and dry. That is literally what everyone's saying. That he was like, no, I want them to feel the fact that I'm gone.
But either way, they still get a player back. So
yeah, no, he didn't know they were going to get D'Angelo Russell. We didn't know.
No,
I thought he was going to
the Knicks.
I thought he was going to the Lakers.
D'Angelo Russell. Okay, yeah.
I thought he was going to the Lakers.
But they didn't let him be a free agent. They signed him and traded him. Yeah. Look, like I said, the GM for the Warriors was smart as all get out.
He got D'Angelo Russell, yeah.
A 24-year-old all-star.
And a first-round pick, right?
Yeah. Okay, but why did the GM for the Warriors, why is he mad? Like, why is Kevin Durant mad? You can't trade me straight for D'Angelo Russell. No, I can do whatever I want.
Because you feel like you're better than him, and B, because it was never a thing. It was literally always Kevin Durant and the Warriors. It was never Kevin Durant with the Warriors. It was always separate. And I feel like a part of KD never forgave them for that, even though it wasn't their fault. It was the media's fault.
No, for sure. So more basketball stuff real quick. So do you think the Warriors essentially rest this year? They don't push it. They don't go for the championship.
I'm telling you, I don't think Klay plays this year. I wouldn't. I mean, if you know you're not going to compete.
But I think
the West is a lot stronger now because Kevin Durant left.
Mike Conley went to the Jazz. They're better. Denver's going to be better. Yeah. Everybody's going to be better for sure.
And I feel like why push Klay to come back if you know that it's going to be really hard for you to compete? Let him take a year off. You just paid him.
Let Steph run around and shoot threes.
It's the same reason why they let LeBron in LA relax. Like, man, we got you for a minute. Let's hold on. Let's pump the brakes. Yeah, right. I wouldn't take a year off. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Let D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry go out there and have fun. If they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. Whatever.
For sure. I kind of feel the same way. I don't think they will. I think they're too competitive for that.
You've competed every year for
the
last
a while. 5 years. Bro.
So if they don't make the finals 1 year, which I still don't, even if Klay comes back, and
they're not going to make the finals. I agree, but
you're not getting through either of those teams in LA. And even if I don't want to admit it, that team in Houston is going to put up a hell of a fight.
For sure. The next thing on the list here is I keep hearing this. Anthony Davis is injury prone and all this stuff. He played almost 2 full seasons in back-to-back years before last season. I don't want to hear that no more. But my question is, so he's been labeled as injury prone throughout his whole career. Is it possible that Anthony Davis didn't play through injuries that he could have played for because he knew the team was bad and he didn't want to put himself out there?
Yeah, why not? Rest. What's the point?
I mean,
why am I going to go out and play hurt and then get hurt? And then cost myself some money.
Because he's really damn good. And to play, the thing that makes me question
he's a two-way player, and you know how I feel about two-way players.
He's 100% a two-way player.
I love two-way players, and he can hit behind the arc. What can't Anthony Davis do, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, I mean...
I was just watching him practice, and he's dribbling the ball like a point guard left-handed.
Right, I like Anthony Davis a lot. Yeah, why push yourself to play for a team you know is not going anywhere? But speaking of Anthony Davis, I don't want to go on a side tangent. You know, they say that him and Boogie planned this out. Them meeting up in L.A.
Really?
That's what they said. They said that Boogie, because obviously Boogie's contract was over beforehand, and all the rumors were that Boogie knew Anthony Davis was leaving. That he wasn't staying in New Orleans. And that's why, which makes sense, why Boogie would walk away from all that money and go sign him. So why not go win a title in DeMarcus Cousins' title, win a title, and then meet and link back up with Anthony Davis in L.A.
Bro, have you seen Boogie? He's already down 15 pounds.
They're saying
he looks real good.
His goal, he said, this year is to play 82 games.
Hold off on that.
Here's my thing.
Respect
don't let him play back-to-back games.
Right.
Even though I know he's going to want to, don't let him play back-to-back games. Just simply because, why? Don't push him.
And if you've got stuff locked up,
and you've got LeBron. You've got LeBron now for 2 more years after this year.
Oh yeah.
So you don't want to push.
Let
too
him
much.
Yeah.
Let Boogie play. Don't let him play in any back-to-backs, and then have him healthy in the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we were talking about they were talking about the potential starting 5, or at least how about this? The Lakers that's going to close this game Okay.
Close the year?
Close fourth quarters, close games.
Okay.
Starting at point guard, LeBron.
All right.
Danny Green at the 2.
Okay.
Kyle Kuzma at the 3.
I like it.
Anthony Davis at the 4. And DeMarcus Cousins at 5.
Here's my thing. I feel like that's gonna not only gonna be their closing. I think that's gonna be their playoff lineup.
It could be.
Nothing against JaVale McGee, because I know they say that JaVale McGee is their starter
currently.
That Boogie will come off the bench. I don't think that lasts very long. I think
especially not if he's healthy.
I think about by the beginning of this December, I think Boogie's gonna. Yeah, so if Boogie's playing well, you're not gonna have him sitting on the bench. I feel like I like JaVale McGee, but Boogie, if a healthy Boogie, come on,
he can do all the things JaVale McGee does, but he can also shoot and he passes.
Yeah, and he's a hell of a defender.
No, he's not. He's a liability on defense.
Well, but he covers the paint though. He cannot cover a pick and roll. It's garbage on the pick and roll.
He can kind of guard the rim.
But he can.
JaVale McGee's a much better defender.
But again, you don't really have to worry about it with
Anthony Davis. Yeah. Number 3, by the way. LeBron and Anthony Davis.
I don't like that.
They put their jersey swap on hold. Not swap. LeBron was giving Anthony Davis 23.
He was going to go back 6.
But because it's so late in the year, Nike says they can't do it because they've already printed so many LeBron James 23 jerseys.
What are we going to do?
They're going to lose millions of dollars.
What are we going to do if a billion-dollar company loses money? All those poor kids in China that have been sewing jerseys.
But here's the thing that bugs me is that, so if they let it go through, they get to print LeBron James 6 jerseys and Anthony Davis 23 jerseys. So you lose 1 jersey, but people are going to go buy 2 jerseys.
I get what you're saying.
So I think realistically they would make more money than they would lose.
Whatever, they're just poor billion-dollar company.
But what were we even talking about, dog?
Basketball.
Yeah. All right.
Boogie, the fourth quarter.
Okay.
A healthy Boogie pushes that. It's a title team.
I agree.
No, I don't care what the Clippers got. They don't have the big bodies to cover down.
You know what? Let's finish this talk real quick, and then we'll go into bullshit Skip Bayless says. Okay, so first thing. Magic Johnson says their closing lineup should be LeBron, Danny Green, Avery Bradley. They picked him up at small forward for defense, and he can shoot.
Yeah, but,
Kyle Kuzma at the 4, and Anthony Davis at 5.
No, if Boogie's playing well, you don't bench him.
And Anthony Davis does not want to play the 5 at all. He has said his whole career, "I'm not a 5, I'm a 4."
Well, and
that's smart because he's not big enough.
He's big, but he's not like bulky. He's not like DeMarcus Cousins. Looks like a guy that if you put your shoulder into him, he's going to look at you like
he's done that before.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like. Anyway,
doesn't even move. Like
for the podcast,
shoes don't even squeak.
I made a face that looked like you were being a mean mug. So bullshit Skip Bayless says this week, folks. Strap in because there's a lot of it.
Skip Bayless says.
Okay, so his first thing that he was talking about, he said the Clippers don't have a closer, and he said the closer for the Clippers is Lou Williams, who is their backup shooting guard.
Did he not see what Kawhi did at all?
Oh, no, he saw it. Kawhi's not a closer.
I forgot. It's the little crybaby Spurs boy.
Okay, so, he hates Kawhi Leonard because of the Spurs thing. But Kawhi Leonard led the finals in fourth quarter points.
Not only that, but if the Raptors needed a bucket at the end of the game, where else were they going?
But he didn't. Fred VanVleet. Anyway, so that pissed me off. I'm like, Skip, you're an idiot. They just got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and their closer is Lou Williams. Okay, sure. Whatever you fucking say, you
Can
clown.
Lou run the point?
Kinda.
That might be their closing lineup.
No, because you're not gonna take Patrick Beverly off the floor in the fourth quarter.
Well, just go small ball about it.
Okay, but the problem is Lou Williams is your backup. He's not even their starter.
Well, he's a sixth man though.
Cool.
A hell of a sixth man.
Sure. Closer.
Again, though, it's Skip Bayless.
I know.
Literally,
that's why the title of the segment.
Take it with a truck bed full of salt.
Okay.
He says.
So the other thing was during that same segment, he said the Lakers don't have a closer at all, except Kyle Kuzma could develop into that.
So where was he at that year that LeBron just?
You mean last? Not this year. Not the one that just finished. The year before. In the playoffs where he had the most 40-point games ever. He had 4 buzzer beaters.
No. Remember when he should have won Finals MVP by himself?
Yeah. Oh, he says... Oh, that's the other thing, some more bullshit Skip Bayless says. The greatest 3-game stretch of LeBron James' career is the 2014-2015 Finals when he took the Warriors to 6 games. He said games 1, 2, and 3 is his best 3-game stretch of his career. Did he not watch the comeback from 3-1?
I mean, yeah. No, I guarantee he did. He just probably credits Kyrie Irving for that.
Oh, yeah, Kyrie Irving was the closer of that team, too.
Why? Because he hit one?
He hit one?
No, not one. The
for sure.
The clutchest shot that you could have.
He hit a clutch bucket, dog.
How many times have you been dribbling on the court by yourself? 3, 2.
It wasn't a buzzer beater.
But still, it clinched the game. Claim was over.
I agree.
You can't make a shot after that. If you're the Warriors,
They tried.
You can't.
Kevin Love locked down.
It's not going in.
Steph.
It's not going in. God himself is defending the rim on that.
He gave LeBron James a speed boost on that block. That's what he did.
No,
he hit the turbo button.
He picked up a damn Mario star. And
did you ever? Richard Jefferson was talking about that play, and he was like, literally, I'm watching them dribble the ball like towards the paint, and I just see a blur in front of my face, and then I look up and LeBron's pinning it on the backboard.
LeBron, that shot's not going in.
Okay, so more bullshit. Skip Bayless says, yeah, Kyle Kuzma's their Lakers closer, by the way. That's the dumbest shit.
I do think Kyle Kuzma might see a bump up in his points per game.
He should,
simply because no one's going to watch him.
He shot as a rookie. He shot 36% from 3. Last year he shot 30. So he needs to get back to his rookie form and golden. Okay.
Did he shoot more though than his rookie year? Is that just because he shot more?
I don't know.
You know what I mean
numbers.
though? Like sometimes it seems like
volume.
It's worse, but it's just because he shot more.
He just didn't shoot as well.
Whatever.
I think.
I mean, he had more minutes this year. I guarantee it.
Oh, for sure. He said that Kawhi Leonard is a more powerful figure in the NBA because he was able to get Paul George away from OKC. First of all, LeBron got his guy. And second of all, that has more to do with the GM than the players.
The GMs.
Yeah.
It had more to do with Jerry West and the guy that played. Who's the GM for Thunder?
Sam Presti.
If he's not at all interested in trading Paul George, that trade doesn't happen.
Also, for example,
although, if I knock on your door as a GM, hey, I'll give you 5.
No, because allegedly the Lakers were going to give up 4 first-round picks and 4 players for Anthony Davis before the trade.
Yeah, and what happened to that GM after that?
He got fired.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is, and also people love to hate LeBron. So even if it's not indicative of the power of the player. Kawhi said
star power has a little bit to do with it, but
yeah,
stop giving Kawhi Leonard all the credit.
It's annoying, especially because you hate him, Skip Bayless. Like I hate
Jerry West pulled off one of the stealthiest moves of all time.
Getting Kawhi and Paul George. I agree.
Because no one was talking about the Clippers.
That trade, the Clippers trade,
we were writing the Clippers off.
Right. And
I'm not saying we're right. Professionals,
but everybody was.
Come on now.
And the thing is that trade with the 5 first-round picks and all that stuff wasn't just for Paul George. If you don't do that deal, you don't get Kawhi. It was a 2-player trade.
It makes sense. Like I think Kawhi was like, look, you need to get on me another.
They literally said, if you don't get another player, I'm not going.
Yeah, and I get it.
So that's fine.
I definitely don't think he was ever going to the Lakers though.
So
I think that was just fanfare.
No. What he did was he's saying, if you don't make a deal happen, I'm going to play in that building with the Lakers.
Yeah,
he played them.
Okay, so that makes sense. We didn't play him. I mean, he ended up going there.
Well,
playing him would have been them trading everything to go to the Clippers and then him going to the Lakers.
Sure, anyways. But what I'm saying is he pitted them against themselves. You know what I mean? So Rob Parker, I mentioned I was going to include him in our little segment here because he's dumb. But his thing is he's riding this thing of nobody wants to play with LeBron James because Paul George could have done it twice. But
does he not remember the big 3?
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
That does count.
No, and Anthony Davis doesn't count either. Those 2 things didn't happen.
Kevin Love?
Doesn't count.
All the other free agents that came there just to play with Shaquille O'Neal?
Doesn't count. Because Shaquille O'Neal's old, so it doesn't count. He literally says nobody wants to play with LeBron.
Shaquille O'Neal went to Cleveland because he thought that was his best chance of winning a title.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Without going back to LA.
I'm aware. I'm just telling you what he says. Oh. He says, so my argument to this is, let's say, for example, you're trying to prove yourself. Like Kawhi Leonard, for example.
Right. So
Kawhi Leonard probably thinks he's the best player in the NBA.
I mean, you have to at that level.
Right, and so maybe...
And he might be.
So maybe he wants to prove he's better than LeBron? So maybe it would be bad for him to go play with LeBron. So
why
maybe
not
it's not
play in the same city as him.
Right. Maybe it's not I don't want to play with LeBron thing. Maybe it's like, I like to compete.
I want to beat LeBron.
Maybe it's like Kevin Durant. Maybe I want to beat LeBron.
And why not beat him in the same building, in the same conference?
Regardless of that, in general. He could have picked any team in the world that wasn't the Lakers. If he can compete against LeBron, that's the point. Like, your argument of nobody wants to play with LeBron, well, it's not that they don't want to play with him, it's that they'd rather try to beat him. Because that's how they get better.
He wanted to go to L.A. anyway, like you said several times. He wanted to go back to L.A. Because that's where he's from, yeah?
Yeah, he's from L.A.
Why not go home?
Well, even that.
But then again, though, if you're going to go home, go to the Lakers. I think if LeBron James does not play for the Lakers, he's a Laker. Right?
I think if even more so, I think if Anthony Davis doesn't play for the Lakers, he probably plays for the Lakers. A big three was unappealing to him.
That makes sense,
in my opinion.
Well, because who's to say? Because when you have a big three, somebody has to take a step back.
Right, and he didn't want to.
Who's to say? Yeah, who's to say it wouldn't have been Kawhi?
Well, Kawhi says that. That's why he plays for the Clippers.
That makes sense.
But my thing is
so glad that we're back to duos.
Yeah, it's a lot of duos, and I like it.
The NBA brought me back in.
But here's the thing. Even with big threes, for example, Miami, you don't win all the titles. Should
Not
they
when
have
you
won?
run into the juggernaut that is Greg Popovich and Tim Duncan.
The problem was they played them back-to-back years, and that's why they lost the second
Well, they should have lost the first time.
But they didn't.
They should have.
But they didn't.
Why didn't they?
Because LeBron James is a baller. Yes, Ray Allen hit the shot. I know.
Goddamn right, Ray Allen hit the shot.
Hey, did Ray Allen score any points in that overtime?
Did he? I don't know.
Nope, LeBron did. Anyway, we'll talk about closers later. Skip. Anyway, what I'm saying is he holds this thing about LeBron nobody wants to play with LeBron over him. Did anybody want to go play with Kobe when they were free agents?
Nope.
Like Carmelo Anthony, for example. But nobody talked shit.
Dirk? Kobe, did you ever hear that conversation?
Yeah, they tried to.
Kobe actually called Dirk Nowitzki up and was like, hey,
you want to play together?
You want to come to LA? And he was like, nah, I love you, Kobe, but I can't leave Dallas. Well, that speaks more to Dirk.
But
it's his loyalty to Dallas.
But people don't want to talk about that. They don't. Oh, Kobe tried to recruit players. But
Kobe called you up personally.
Right, but what I'm saying is...
He called your agent, didn't ask for your number. He was like, give me it. Give me his number. I'm calling him.
But, like, that's the thing. Is Kobe Bryant was allowed to recruit, and he's Mamba mentality. He's an assassin. He's cold-blooded.
The difference between LeBron and Kobe, I would... Personally, if I was an NBA player, I would rather play with LeBron because he's a facilitator.
He's going to make you better.
Kobe will make you better too.
Yeah.
But Kobe's going to make you feel like dirt in practice.
Right.
Every time I think about Kobe, I think about poor Jeremy Lin just getting cussed out in practice.
It was great.
And
here's the other thing.
I love it so much.
But people talk about, let's see, they were talking about, hold on. People blame LeBron because they also talk about LeBron's hard to play with. He was talking about how the atmosphere alone with LeBron is toxic and he's hard to play with.
The only thing that I will say about playing with LeBron that is unappealing is if you win, it's his because of him. If you lose, it's everyone else's fault. When has it ever been LeBron James' fault that they lost?
I'll wait.
Exactly. They never blame LeBron, ever. Not one time.
But
it was his fault.
In the finals against Miami, against Dallas, they do blame LeBron.
It was 1,000% his fault.
And
you can't be the quote unquote greatest player in the world and not even average 18 points a game.
I agree. That's why it was his fault then. Name another time when it was his fault. Exactly.
No,
that's what I'm saying. You can't. So what I'm saying is the other thing is. So we talk about Kobe. Kobe was hard to play with, and nobody talks shit about that. Michael Jordan literally punched a teammate in the face.
Who?
Bill Cartwright.
That sounds about right.
Bill Cartwright, I think he punched him in the face in practice.
I don't know why I instantly thought of Tony Kukoc.
He might have punched him too.
No, don't punch. No, not Kukoc.
Anyway, what I'm saying is, people being hard to play with is not a bad thing.
The difference is, like, with LeBron and Kobe and Jordan, is they expected you. They had a certain level of expectations from you, and if you don't meet that, there's the door. Get the hell out of
Absolutely,
here.
That's what it should be.
You don't have a combined 14 titles with 3 of them.
Yeah,
and
that was a really quick math, by the way. Good
right? Thank you. I was a little proud of myself. I wasn't going to say it out loud, but since you brought it up, combined 14 titles, and you can't have that level of accomplishment and not have that level of pressure. LeBron James has had that level of pressure on him since day one. And then when he won a title, it doubles. And then when he goes back to Cleveland, he might as well be Atlas at this point, holding the whole world on his back. Like, you can't... Of course nobody wants to play that. You know why? Because nobody wants that level of pressure on them. And No, I just
Anyway,
I get it. I get why it would be intimidating to play with any of them. Plus, who wants to go to LA and play in LA? That's another level of
another level of expectations. That's what you mean. Okay. The last thing. This is our last segment. This is the last topic of bullshit. Skip Bayless says, and it's actually we're gonna end with Rob Parker because that's where I'm at. He said.
Here we go.
He said Anthony Davis is going to be the third wheel, and Kyle Kuzma is going to be the second best player on that team. Bro, what? Anthony Davis
is going to give you
27, 12.
I think his scoring is going to drop a little bit just because he's not going to have as many opportunities in the post like he normally does.
Or it's going to go up because LeBron's going to feed him.
Yeah, but then you're going to have to rely on him to shoot the ball.
I'm sorry, 26.
I think he's going to probably be a 24 and 13 guy. Which is...
You can't... No, he has to average more than that. He has to average 26, 27.
Well,
he has to.
We'll see. The only way that happens is LeBron scoring drops, which I also...
He was averaging 28. He could go down to 26.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. So you think between the two, they're going to average 52 points a game.
They should.
It's just around there. Yeah. I like that.
They have to average 52 points a game.
If you go out there and average that much...
LeBron needs to average 10 assists. He could do it.
No, needs to. He's going to.
He could.
This could
be his triple-double, by the way. He won't average triple-double because he's a rebound like
Russ
that.
Russ has cheapened it. It's not a big thing anymore.
I
You can't do it back-to-back years and expect to be everyone to freak out.
3 years in a row, that's crazy. Okay, we're done talking about bullshit.
A lot of good that does you, though.
Well, bullshit, Skip Bayless says, ding. That's the end of that segment. Okay.
Oh, wow, that was just quick.
The other thing I want to talk about, let's see, I think I got 2 more NBA topics, and then we'll be done with the NBA. First, Kawhi Leonard only signed a 3-year deal.
I heard that, and the
third year is a player option. Yep. So
I know why he did that.
Because he's making the Clippers. You better keep this team good.
I think it's either I'm giving you 2 years, and if you don't win, it's a bust, and I'm out of here.
Yep.
It's a smart move on him.
Also, think about let's think about this real quick.
Where do you think he goes?
I got you. So Paul George also has 3 years left on his deal.
They're going to go somewhere together,
and a player option. Did you know that LeBron James has 3 years left on his deal? Did you know that what if in 3 years LeBron leaves the Lakers, they're free agents? What if they just walk across the hall? They both originally wanted to play for the Lakers.
That'd be interesting. I don't see that happening, though. I think when LeBron's contract's up, he's going to go wherever his son gets drafted to.
I don't think he'll play for that team. He wants to play against his son.
No, I don't think so.
He said he wanted to play with his son.
I think that happens. It's like if
he makes it that far, we're talking 5 more years.
Yeah, well, Bronny's a freshman,
4 more
right?
years. He's not a freshman year, I don't think. I think he's in 8th
This will
grade.
be his freshman year.
Yeah.
So, I hate that I called him
He's
Bronny.
throwing... That's his name.
I know, I hate it.
Well, it's LeBron James Jr., and that's a mouthful.
First of all, I hate LeBron that he did that.
So, Michael Jordan did the same shit.
I hate it.
It's bad.
Well, you can't do that to a kid.
But he's good.
I don't care how good he is. That's bullshit.
I agree.
That's a lot of pressure you're putting on somebody.
Nah.
By the way, I mean, he'll. I don't think he'll be LeBron good.
No.
But if you're like a shade of what LeBron is, all right.
Okay, well, let's say he grows up and he maxes out his potential and he's 75% of his dad. I'm sorry. He's the third greatest player of all time.
What if he's better than his dad?
Shh.
He's got his dad in his ear talking about, this is what you need to do to win. So he wins earlier.
Yeah, it could be scary.
Here's something.
Also, D-Wade sounds pretty good.
Can I depress you a little bit?
Go ahead. I'm ready.
If LeBron three-peats and retires, he'll still be 6-6 in the finals.
Yeah.
So
he went to 12 finals.
No, he went to more than that. No, yeah, you're right. Wow.
I just complimented your math.
Right? That is just depressing. Anyway.
If LeBron
there's no way
and he retires, okay?
There's no way he three-peats.
Greatest of all time.
No.
Yes.
No. You know what's better than 6-6?
6-0.
6-0.
You know what's better than 6-0?
You know what's better than 6-6? Going three-peat, retire, come back and do it again.
Okay. Here, how about this? See, okay. This leads me we have a simulator.
There's nothing LeBron can do to base past Michael Jordan. If he
repeats, first of all, he'll have won titles in 3 separate organizations. He will be in his 20th NBA season. If he three-peats, he still has to be one of the best players on the team. Nobody has been that good that late in their career. First of all. Second of all, no. LeBron. Okay, let me ask you this. How good was Michael Jordan in his 17th year? Oh, he didn't play that many years. He played 15.
He also went to college.
So?
And he won a national championship.
You're telling me college basketball is the same? Okay.
No, but I'm saying LeBron started earlier. So, of course, he played 20 years.
Okay, how about this? Did you know, how about LeBron's played more finals? More finals. He's played more playoff minutes than anybody ever. Did you know if you take just his playoff minutes, that's 3 more full seasons? So he's already at 20?
I'm not taking anything away from LeBron.
What I'm saying is...
I'm just saying he's not I'll give it to you. If he three-peats in LA, which isn't
He's
gonna happen.
not. I 100% agree.
If he three-peats, mark my words, in 3 years, if he three-peats, I'll say he's the best player of all time. That is the only way he surpasses Michael Jordan.
And I agree with you.
And he still won't be the best Laker of all time.
Yes, he would be.
No, he would.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Nope. He doesn't pass. He doesn't touch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who won 5. Magic Johnson won 5.
No, we have
Kobe won 5.
We're not having this argument because we had it last week.
If he three-peats, I'll put him on the Lakers
Anyway,
Mount Rushmore.
Real quick.
Mount Rushmore. Jesus.
The last thing I wanted to talk about is when we were talking about if Kawhi goes to the Lakers. My thought is, what actually makes teams super? Because in my
super teams,
right? Because I was like, oh, it's gonna be an unbeatable super team, and it's the greatest collection of talent ever. Okay, you realize you have to put 12 other players on that roster.
A super team to me is 3 All-Star caliber players or more.
So the Spurs were all super teams.
No,
why not? 3 All-Stars. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and
all right,
Tim
so
Duncan.
maybe not. So then upper echelon players. Then let's go above. Because I don't put Manu as an upper.
So
echelon.
you're saying? Are you trying to say MVP caliber?
There you go.
Chris Bosh is an MVP caliber player, and even at his best, wasn't an MVP caliber player.
You're right.
So that's
that
what I'm
wasn't
saying.
a super team though.
His Miami team?
That wasn't a super team.
Everybody called. They started the super team era.
No, they didn't. Boston started that.
Do you know what's a super team? The Warriors.
You know what? I will say this. That's
Kevin
not
Durant.
even a super team. That's a 2K team.
Yeah, like a fantasy team.
Like, the only reason that worked is because everyone was willing to take fucking pay cuts. Durant took 2 pay cuts.
But
Boogie took a veteran minimum to play there.
Okay,
but they didn't work because they didn't win.
That doesn't count. I'm talking about the one where they won the 2 titles back to back.
Okay.
The reason they were able to do that is because
Kevin Durant.
No,
yeah.
Because Steph Curry was on a max contract.
But take Kevin Durant off that team, they don't win.
I agree. Jesus Christ, we're talking about them how good they are.
You know what?
That's a super team.
There was a couple episodes ago that it's been bouncing around in my head ever since, and I need to give you I need to give you kudos.
Oh, all right.
And B, I agree with you. I don't think that Warriors team is as good as everyone thinks it is.
With Kevin Durant or without?
Without.
All right, yeah, you're right.
And I think the only reason that they won the back-to-back is Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Remember when Kevin Durant came down the court
and pulled up?
And just pulled up?
Yeah.
You know what he did?
I wake up in my sleep.
You know what he did by doing that? The Warriors are my team. He looked Steph right in the eye after that. Maybe not realistically, but in his mind's eye, he was like, "Look at
absolutely." That's what I was saying last week. Is like he did what LeBron couldn't do in his first year in Miami. So anyway, that was just my question. Like, what makes a super team? You know what makes a super team? 4 All-Stars in your starting lineup. And not All-Stars. Because Steph's an MVP. KD's an MVP.
Take Clay off there and put him on a regular team.
Clay is the greatest shooter, arguably greatest shooter of all time.
Catch and
argue.
Shoot. Catch and shoot.
Right. But shooter is Steph.
Honestly, how good... I've never really watched a Warriors game because ever since they started winning titles, it was annoying. How good is he at creating his own shot?
Nah.
Clay? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I don't mean to take anything away from him.
Yeah.
He can still catch and bang them all right in your throat.
And there's not another basketball player ever who gets as hot as Klay Thompson.
Name one.
You can't.
You can't.
Oh,
dude, I think if they told him to go out and do it, and he had one of his nights, he could get 101.
He could get 100.
At the very least, he could beat Kobe's 81.
Let's talk about Kobe getting 81. That's Klay Thompson's like.
He hit 60
peak.
and 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hit 45 points on 3 dribbles.
Did you watch? Have you ever seen highlights of that Kobe Bryant 81-point game? So imagine that, but imagine that Kobe could shoot threes better.
Yeah.
Like that's essentially, obviously Kobe. I will say Kobe is the best all around scorer because like how creative he was at creating shots. Like name somebody.
He's the best bad shot shot. He took the worst shots, but made.
They weren't
more
bad
of
because
them.
he took them.
Right, like his over the backboard and his. I saw him shoot a floater from the corner. Like he spun and was in the corner trap, and he just kind of threw it up and made it. Like
that's Mamba, baby.
He was the best bad shot maker of all time.
He could put his back to the basket. He could take you off the drive. He could hit threes. Not great, but he could hit threes and mid range. It's him and Michael Jordan.
Oh, for
the greatest mid-range jump shot shooters of all time.
It was fun watching them shoot.
But
have you ever seen the supercut of them?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
He literally took the same steps.
It's literally like he was taking notes when he was in high school. He's like, So that's what I'm going to do. Yep.
So like MJ is Michelob Ultra and Kobe's Michelob Light.
Like in my heart, I know that's true, but I don't. I'm such a Kobe fan. Kobe is my Michael Jordan because I watched him his whole career and I love him. I feel
LeBron James for me.
I feel like that's how people look at Michael Jordan that watch him play.
You want to feel really bad about yourself? Anthony Davis is 26.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Bro.
I turned 30 in 2 months.
Hey, dog, happy birthday, dog.
It's way too early for that.
No, I'm going to surprise you. Next week you come, party.
If I come in here in streamers, I'm turning around and I'm going home.
You can't, though.
I wouldn't.
All right, I think that I'm finally done with the NBA topics.
So
for now,
let's jump into a small NFL topic.
Let's hear it.
Richie Incognito got suspended for 2 games for personal conduct.
Yeah,
how does he keep getting signed?
He's good.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's good at bullying his teammates and being a
But he's
prick.
good at also bullying the defensive lineman.
He's a decent offensive lineman, but out of principle, I wouldn't even offer him a practice squad contract.
He's an asshole. He's a bad person. That's the real problem.
He literally forced a guy out of the NFL.
Yes, but I don't agree with what Richie Incognito did or said in any way. But you got to have thick skin.
How do you make it to the NFL? Arguably one of the most manly sports. And you have that soft a skin.
For example.
But again, like you said, I don't agree with anything
nothing was right.
And nothing was okay by it. But you can't allow somebody to bully you out of millions of dollars.
For example, I'm biracial. I went to a small town school.
Yes, you did.
They literally have 2 stoplights in the whole town, okay?
Yep.
My freshman year, the seniors told me they were going to lynch me, burn crosses in my yard, hold ski mask parties at my house.
That was all after they found out that you weren't half Mexican, which
yeah, I'm half black.
You can't. Yeah.
So
I am very thankful that I went to a mixed high school, and I don't mean like everyone was mixed. I mean like
I don't think that's what they meant. What they thought.
There was no majority there.
Yeah, sure.
It was literally white, black, Mexican.
No, it was white, then some Mexican.
No, but I'm saying I feel like. I'm not saying I would have been racist if it hadn't been that way.
What I'm saying is...
But I got to experience everything. I got to experience the good in people and the bad in people.
Well, and what I'm saying all that to say is I also told... Like, I was like, hey, look... Because I told my mom that I was like, I'm kind of scared of this because I was a freshman.
Understandably so.
But what I can tell you is that nothing anybody's ever said to me since has ever affected me.
Yeah. And I get thick skin,
and I still played with those guys.
Right, yeah.
We became friends by the end of the year. You know, it wasn't I didn't quit football entirely because it ruined me.
Right.
You know, I kind of was like, oh, their whole thing was they were trying to include me because they thought I was going to be good.
And it shows you that racism isn't you're not born racist. You're raised racist, and the fact that they overcame that and became your friend shows you
that's not true. I'm definitely racist against aliens. The green men, by the way. The little Martians, fuck them.
Well, what if you met one? What if you met like an E.T.?
Is he cool though?
Yeah, like E.T.
If he's cool, I might hang out with him.
So I'm saying, see, you just learned, you grew in the 5 seconds.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know how he has a job. I agree with you.
It just sets a bad precedent that Oakland signed him. That you just like, you're essentially saying, yeah, I know he's a dick, but he can play.
Yeah,
I don't like
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, well.
Des Bryant, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss.
Should I keep going? Whoa.
Anyway,
don't punch holes in my logic.
So last week, UFC big UFC fight.
So listen, let's not even worry about talking about the title fights or any of that nonsense.
We're gonna talk about
you know what I want to talk about. You know the only fight I want to talk about. See, let me set this up for you, audience. You train for about 6 to 8 months for a fight. You do all the press conferences. You're so geeked up. You come out to your music. You set it up, the bell. You get announced. You know, your name's yelled, and everything else. You're getting ready to fight. Bell goes off. You run across the ring. You get kneed in the head, and the fight's over in 5 seconds.
Okay, so
do you not quit as a fighter? You don't quit as. You're like, all right. I go to a bar. I drink the whole bar. Tomorrow, I'm mining in some coal mines. That's what's happening.
Okay, so let me set the picture a little bit more clear for you. What he's talking about is Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. Okay, so Ben Askren, if you don't know, is an asshole. We were just talking about Richie Incognito. Ben Askren is that level.
Is he?
He is a dick. He's not fun to talk about. He was talking about... So Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren actually met in a gym 10 years ago.
Okay.
They were sparring, not really sparring, they were wrestling. They were like wrestling. Ben Askren is a wrestler. That is what he did before he did in the UFC. Like high level USA,
like
wrestling,
like
okay?
Olympic type.
Right. And Masvidal comes from Kimbo Slice fighting in the backyard. Literally, he fought with Kimbo Slice in his backyard.
Side note: I don't want
to not fought against Kimbo Slice, but in
side
that
note,
area.
Can I admit how sad I was that Kimbo didn't make it in the UFC?
I
1,000% understand why he didn't. But I was so rooting for Kimbo. I was like, please, Kimbo.
Coolest name,
Kimbo.
Slice. Top 10 coolest names.
He had to be a fighter, right? You can't just
you can't just
work at a
Kimbo
car.
Slice.
You can't work at a car dealership. Like, yeah, I'm here to sell Mazdas. What's your name? Kimbo Slice. Okay, I'm buying 5 of them.
So anyway, so what happened was they were sparring, and Ben Askren out-wrestled him. He did better in the wrestling portion.
Obviously.
And talked shit about it. And has been for a long time. And Jorge's like, we were sparring in a gym for fun. It wasn't a fight. I'm going to fight you now. So he was like, why are you bringing that up? You don't talk about stuff in the gym. Ben Askren then called his wife stupid. He called Jorge Masvidal stupid. He was like, your wife's a hoe, like talking all this shit, right? And so Jorge's been planning this, right? So what happened was, like, literally, he would practice running and doing a flying knee.
I saw that, yeah.
Because Ben Askren is, like I just said, a wrestler. And so what he does is, if somebody comes at him, my instinct is to drop my head and shoot for the legs. Well, he dropped his head, and Masvidal jumped and kneed him into the face.
48 hours before that fight, he was practicing.
He was practicing that exact move, and he hit him in the face, dropped him, celebrated a little bit, got down, and started talking shit into the unconscious man's face. And after the event, he was being interviewed, and the lady's like, "So, it looked like you were pretty aggressive there. Did Ben Askren get under your skin?" He says, "Well, I don't know if he got under my skin or not." But if he did, do you think that's the place he wants to be again? And she goes, okay. And she left. She left the interview.
No, please. I don't want to be here with you right now.
And then after the fight, at the actual press conference, he was being interviewed. And the guy was like, so do you think you took the celebration a little too far? And Jorge's like, no.
He called my wife a whore, no.
And the guy's like, well, you threw those two extra punches after you already knocked him out.
He's lucky I stopped it too.
And he's like, that's my job. I'm supposed to hit him until the ref pulls me off.
And people don't understand this about UFC because they always say it's so barbaric. Like, you don't stop until the ref touches you, and then you still don't stop until he gets in between you. That's killer instinct. That's what you're supposed to do.
He's like, that's my job. I'm supposed to hit him in the face.
A lot. Until I'm told to stop.
It was his. If you get a chance, go look up Jorge Masvidal's interview.
I didn't realize it went that deep.
It went real deep.
All I know is I saw a flying knee. I got really excited.
Yeah.
And then I saw the celebration. Got even more excited.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even. That was, like you said, one of 3 of the best fights. That Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, I'm coming. That's next.
Let's talk about that because
hold on, I'm not done with this one.
All right. Well, she knocked out my hero. So let's go ahead.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. So you know it's coming.
So Ben Askren did interviews after, and he was like, "Hey man, you know what? Shit happens. I got caught. I'm sorry it was that guy because he's an asshole, but I lost. Who's next?" And I respect that.
Yeah.
Jorge Masvidal. One of the other things in his interview was like, because the guy was like, did you take the celebrating too far? And he's like, that dude's been talking shit to me for 3 months. And why is it okay for him to do that before the fight, but if I celebrate after I win, that's wrong.
Right.
That's silly. And
not
so,
to mention, like you say, you're saying reckless stuff.
Dog, crazy stuff. Craziness. Anyway, Amanda Nunes, she won. She defended her title.
Holly Holm her first career knockout.
First loss. First KO. Did you know that Holly Holm went to her trainer before the fight and was like, hey, I want to beat her with her, what's her signature? The head kick. I want to do that. It literally knocked her out with her own move. Okay, when athletes at that level and that caliber...
You're that good that you can use other people's stuff?
No. When they say, I want to do this, and then they do it, it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Conor McGregor did it before he fought Jose Aldo. He's like, I'm going to knock him out in the first round. Knocked him out in 13 seconds. He said the same thing about Eddie Alvarez. Same thing. John Jones. What most people don't know, and maybe you do know, if you really follow the UFC, you might know. But before he first fought Daniel Cormier the first time, they were coming up with a game plan how they're going to fight, and he goes, "I'm going to let this fight go all 3 or 5 rounds." I don't think it was a title fight the first time. He said, "I'm going to let it go the distance. Then when we have the rematch, I'm going to knock him out so he knows there's no way in the world he can beat me. He let the first fight go all 5 rounds. He won every round. The next fight knocked him out in the second round.
Yeah, damn right.
Literally called the shit.
I like John Jones.
He's a badass. We'll talk about him in a minute.
I hope he can. Yeah, but anyway, so I like that fight. That head kick was dope, but I'm a little sad that she knocked out my hero.
You only like calling home.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because she knocked the shit out of Ronda Rousey.
You know why? Because Ronda Rousey was an overrated fighter.
How about this? Can I interest you in this? Did you know Ronda Rousey fought Amanda Nunes?
Did she win?
No. Did you know she got KO'd by Amanda Nunes?
Yeah.
So now you have a
oh my gosh!
Hero. Yeah.
Yes!
So Amanda Nunes is your hero.
Here, let me clarify as to why I don't like Ronda Rousey. Can I? You mind?
Go for it.
Not the fact that she went from getting knocked out to going to the WWE and got super overhyped for no reason at all other than who she was, but the fact that she won the title without trying. Don't make that face. The fact that she was so overhyped in a division of women that couldn't fight, and then as soon as she did fight somebody that could fight, she lost. I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
So here's how you know, right, that she couldn't fight. Not that she couldn't fight, that the people she was fighting couldn't fight. If you know someone's strengths, why are you running into them?
I agree with you.
How many of her fights literally ended with an armbar?
All of them, but the ones she lost.
Why?
Oh, because
the fighters that were fighting her weren't trained well.
But you know that was the first women's division. Right?
I understand that, and that doesn't mean I have to respect it.
But you do.
So Bart Starr's the greatest quarterback of all time. Then
no,
why not? He was one of the first to do it.
Sure, for sure.
Then why not?
But you respect that.
He also has, 4 championships?
But you respect
Does he ever come up when you talk about greatest quarterbacks of all time?
No.
Why not? Why not?
Ronda Rousey
Because there's a lot of other people after him that have done it better, right?
You're right. And you know what?
She didn't set up... It's easy to dominate a division that's just started.
For sure.
You know another reason why I lost respect for her? That Ellen interview.
When she
literally said that she contemplated killing herself because she lost. That shows a weak person to me. And I'm not saying that depression is not real. 1,000% it is, and suicide is not a joke. But the fact that you're doing that because you lost a fight shows you're a weak person.
I'm not going to argue with that. I think that for that time and what we had around, she was super fun to talk about and watch.
The thing, maybe it's not her. I don't not like her personally. It was everyone around her. Everyone around her was like, she's the greatest fighter of all time. Like
they were talking about her fighting men.
Exactly. Like they stopped short of saying that. They were like, "Oh, she could probably take on George St. Pierre."
Well,
George St. Pierre would have just annihilated her in 5 seconds.
What I'm telling you is, she beat my ass.
I'm not, and in no way am I saying she couldn't destroy me.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all. But again, though, she's a trained fighter. Let me train as long as she's trained. And let's let you train as long as she's trained. And let's see where we're at. I'm saying I'm glad the Ronda Rousey era is over.
I agree.
Because then it got me back into the UFC.
So, speaking of title reigns...
And I'm sure people feel the same way about John Jones, actually. You're tired of hearing about how great John Jones is.
See, but the thing is...
But it was so much worse with Ronda Rousey.
It was so much worse.
So much worse.
And John Jones has been tainted for the cheating stuff.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
That does not mean... So, let me put this in perspective. It's like Barry Bonds and steroids.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds was a fantastic baseball player.
Time out. Barry Bonds was more clearly on steroids than John Jones was.
Correct. But that's not what I'm saying.
It was like... obvious from the onset. You're like, dude, why are you so big right now?
So unbelievably big.
Why is your head growing with your body? What's going on with you? Why do you have biceps on your forehead?
So what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that the only thing steroids do for you is let you hit the ball farther.
There is nobody in the history of this game that has had a better compact swing than Barry Bonds. There is nobody in the world that has had a greater eye than Barry Bonds.
Right.
There's a reason why I'm gonna have to look up the stat of the corrections. Remind me when I leave here that there is a stat that is so preposterous as far as on base percentage, as far as Barry Bonds, because he was walked so many times in 1 year. It's disgusting. I'm going to remind me. I will throw that in the corrections next week.
Yeah.
But, I agree with you.
But John Jones is that level of athlete, and he took steroids.
But I think he's surpassed it.
He has now.
Because his fighting ability outweighs any damage. Like, look at him in the octagon.
Yeah.
The fact that he has an 84-inch reach.
Folks, 84-inch reach. This dude picks up dollars without bending over.
The fact that he can bend his arm and hit you with an elbow at the same distance as some people can with their fist is ridiculous.
So, John Jones is an unbelievable athlete. He's a super freak.
And I like him because he's just so confident.
He is very confident.
Like for instance, like when the UFC first got big, my dad hated people like him. Like Anderson Silva, for instance, was one of my favorite fighters of all time. My dad hated him because he was a Georges St. Pierre fan. Because St. Pierre was the reserve and all that. Yeah. And I always used to get in arguments with my dad because he was like, I hate him because he's cocky. His job is to go out there and punch people in the face. Why would you not be? You have to be arrogant. Like, you can't be like, he's better than me.
Right. No, you have to be.
Did you imagine those press conferences? How, you're like, ew, stop.
Yeah.
Go out and kick him in the head. That's why I like John Jones, because he's so arrogant, so cocky, and like you just said, with the Cormier. Yeah. Like, come on now.
That's unbelievable.
That is disgusting.
So this
you
fight,
quit, right?
I
you don't
would.
Keep fighting.
No, but Cormier wants to fight him again.
I'm kind of mad that we're never going to see Cormier versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Just the over the hill guys just out there swinging for the fences.
Cormier would have beat the absolute
for sure. There's another fighter that I hated, Brock Lesnar.
No, but he was good.
He was decent. He had, for a big guy, for his big hands, couldn't really stand up and fight. Granted, he did knock out some people, but when you have 4XL hands, of course you are.
They custom made Brock Lesnar's gloves.
But he was a wrestler.
Anyway.
So his thing was he's going to lay on top of you for however many rounds and win. But anyway, let's get back to...
we don't have that much time left, actually.
So, UFC,
John Jones was
the
last
fight. They both had to be carried out of the octagon.
Okay, so listen, let me...
That's insane to me.
So, John Jones won via split decision. It's the first time since he's been... Maybe in the UFC, but I want to say I'll hedge my bet.
One loss ever, yeah.
Disqualification, not technically a loss. This is the first time he's lost on the scorecards
ever
since he's been. I'll hedge my bet and say since he's held the title, which has been a long time. I believe Joe Rogan said ever, but so here's what you need to know. Santos was the guy. I can't remember his first name. He in the first round threw us a leg kick, blew out his MCL, his ACL, and his PCL in his leg. And he finished the fight. Not only did he finish the fight, folks, he continued to throw that leg kick. He stood the whole time, fought John Jones, the greatest UFC fighter potentially of all time, to 5 rounds and won rounds with one leg.
That's impressive.
Unbelievable.
I want to see a rematch.
And you fucking got to wait 9 months.
I still want to see
There's going to be a rematch.
You have to. They go to a split decision. John Jones, who normally just goes in there, wins, and then you're like, yeah, of course.
Right. Split decision. And the dude had one leg.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you...
Did you watch any interviews afterwards? Did John Jones have anything to say?
He said, he was like, they asked him about a rematch right away. He was like, no, I'm probably not going to fight him right away. This is before they knew his knee was so fucked up. He was like, I'm not in the business to rematch right away. I'm looking for the next big fight. I will probably fight him again. But it'll be down the road, obviously. He's a great fighter. I can't wait to fight him again, stuff like that.
I like that.
Nothing from Santos, but...
Yeah, probably because he was crying. He tore his whole knee out.
And broke his bone. I forgot he broke a bone too. The tibia? Is that the big one? Not the femur, the one in your shin.
Yeah, tibia.
There's tibia and fibula, right?
Anyway,
he broke a bone in his leg and tore up his knee. He got screwed up. That's why he had to be carried out. But he was kicking John Jones in the leg so hard, John Jones had to be carried out of the ring. He put up a hell of a fight. Kudos to that guy, for sure.
To stay in the fight?
Tore his leg apart and still finished the fight. The last thing I'll talk about, let's talk about baseball. 2 quick hitter topics. First of all,
Tyler Skaggs?
Damn, I forgot about him. All right, yeah,
Tyler Skaggs. Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
I know that nobody really knows how he died. I know they speculated that he died of an opioid overdose. Nobody really knows. So I'm not going to disparage his memory until we know for sure.
Right.
But if you didn't get goosebumps when his Not only when his mom
threw out the first pitch
and right over the plate.
She threw a strike.
That was incredible. And then the fact that they no hit
on his birthday,
and the last time it's been done
was his birthday when he was born.
That's crazy.
The fate.
There has to be sometimes I'm not one of those people that thinks sports is fixed. But if there was a moment that you could point at and be like, that felt fixed. It felt like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, supernatural.
Derek Jeter hitting a walk-off on his last at bat. That type of level of, it felt like it, of course that happened.
Right.
But
Kobe scoring 60 in his last game.
Obviously that's how it happened. But, yeah, that moment really...
He played for the Angels, by the way.
Yeah. Gave me goosebumps, You get in your feelings when you see.
I don't have feelings.
I do. Well, I'm a bitch. You get in your feelings when you see his mom go out there.
Yeah.
She wrote TS on the mound, and it makes you feel good. Those moments are why you're a sports fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of baseball, we only have a few minutes left. Let me rapid fire. First of all, the home run derby was amazing this year. If you didn't watch it, Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit 91 home runs throughout the course of the evening.
Does anybody out there know what the record was before that and who held it?
I'll give it to you. It was Giancarlo Stanton, and he hit 61. Vlad Guerrero Jr. won the home run derby, or set the home run derby record by 30 runs, and did not win the home run derby.
It's different now. It's timed. It's not like you get a number of pitches.
Right.
It
used to be a number of outs.
Yeah.
You got 10 outs.
Yeah, so you kept hitting. This guy was just rapid, which I do like because...
No. There's no like. The object of the home run derby is to hit home runs. He hit the most home runs and didn't win. Bullshit.
I'm saying I like the way it's set up now. Because remember how it used to be, where in between each one they'd watch it and all that. No, they don't have time for that now. Now it's just
it's super cool. It pisses me off that he lost.
I was upset that he hit 60 in the first 2 rounds
and lost. The name of the home run derby it's in the title, Home Run Derby.
That dude won for the Mets, but we all know who really won.
No, you don't know who really won, because the dude with the Mets goes home with the trophy.
You know he won more money winning the home run derby than he's going to make all year?
Did you know that it's bullshit? And he should give all of it to Vlad Guerrero Jr.?
Like I said, we all know who won in our hearts. Anyway.
It makes me angry. Last thing. Are the baseballs juiced, and does it matter to you?
Baseball's juiced.
So Justin Verlander, we're going to have to cover some of this next week because we literally are about to run out of time. But Justin Verlander came out and said baseballs are juiced, that's why they're hitting home runs. They're on pace for 6,651 home runs this year.
I don't understand what you mean by juiced.
Making it so they fly farther.
Okay.
You know how people get juiced? They made the baseballs easier to hit home runs.
I think that...
Players are hitting better?
Players are hitting better... And I think it's just one of those years, man. Baseball goes up and down all the time.
Analytics.
But to be fair, baseball has been trending more towards home runs than it has. Pitching.
There's no small ball anymore.
Pitching is dead.
That's not true.
As far as it being more dominating than hitting. You see more games that end in 12-10 than you do 3-1.
Let me tell you, as a casual, I would watch the 13-12.
I like the 3-1.
That makes me want to hurt myself.
That's the difference between someone who watches and someone who's played.
That's fair.
Because you know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to talk more about this.
Don't get me wrong. Nowhere near did I play Major League. Well, sure. But...
You played in general.
You played. Yeah, if you play, you understand.
Last thing, real quick. And then we'll talk more about the juice baseballs and stuff next week. The live-action Mulan, a little nerd for you right at the end here. Live-action Mulan is going to come out in 2020. There is no Mushu... and no musical numbers.
Trash.
I'm not going to see it.
Lion King's out to mixed reviews. I'm sad about that.
Yeah, I'm going to go see that. Anyway, I got to go. My kid's waking up, and also we're running out of time. We'll see you next week.
Yes, we will.
And hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yes, sir.
Bye.